About fellowship this morning. Are you ready? Fellowship, when it comes to God, is selfish. In other words, if you're going to pick up what I'm putting down this morning, understand this: God does not and will not share His people with sin or the world that He died to save them from. And what God does this morning is He draws some parameters saying, okay, I've taught you about the fact that, to fellowship with me, you got to walk in light. To fellowship with me, you got to obey the commandments. And to fellowship with me, you'll know you are by your relationship with other people. But I'm going to get down to the nitty-gritty today and throw down the gauntlet and tell you this, that you can't fellowship with me and love the world. It's very important, and that's something that God laid down from the very early stages of His relationship with the nation of Israel. If you were to look back in the book of Exodus, chapter 34, you would find the Lord saying this to Israel as He was getting ready to lead them into other territories where they would encounter other people of different religions and different beliefs and different sinfulness that they practice openly. He said this in Exodus 34:12, "Take heed to thyself, lest thou make a covenant with the inhabitants of the land whither thou goest, lest it be a snare in the midst of thee. But ye shall destroy their altars, break their images, and cut down their groves." In other words, God said, when I take you to these other lands that I'm going to give you, when you get there, don't adopt their behavior. Do not adopt their religious practices, but tear it down and set me up in your life and in your land as your God, and love and serve me alone. And then in the next verse, He tells them why. Listen to this, Exodus 34:14. He says this, "For thou shalt worship no other God, for the Lord, whose name is jealous, is a jealous God." Do you realize this morning that our God is a jealous God? He's jealous over you and I, His children. As a matter of fact, Paul actually echoes that same sentiment, not as God, but as an extension of the Lord. Whenever he told the church there in 2 Corinthians chapter 11, he said this in verses 1 and 2. "Would to God," he said, "you'd bear with me a little in my folly, and indeed bear with me. For I am jealous over you with a godly jealousy," Paul said. "For I have espoused you to a husband, that I may present you as a chaste virgin to Christ." The jealousy that Paul felt for the church was he wanted to clean them up and present them like a virgin that was walking down the aisle to commit herself to a man and she'd never been with another. Paul said, I want to see God do that kind of work in your life and present you that way to God the Father or the Lord Jesus Christ at His coming and His appearing. So can I say this? The only way Paul was going to get them there was to get them out of the world. See, God getting us out of the world, as far as saving us, is not the hard part. It's getting the world out of us after He saves us. That's the hard part. And so there's a jealousy that exists. And Brother DJ, here's what you and I want to understand about jealousy. When we talk about God's jealousy and why He's jealous over His people, understand this, that God's jealousy, I sound like Mighty Mouse, don't I? I told you that frog was going to move back in. God's jealousy is not like human jealousy. He's not jealous because He's insecure or envious over the world. And He's not in a competition with what He's going to offer to us, and what they have isn't better. That's not the jealousy that God is experiencing, Brother Will. God's jealousy over us is in this manner. He loves us. He wants what's best for us, and He has that. But He knows because of our fallen nature, there will always be a pull toward what the world offers. And so He's jealous over us because He does not want us to give in to that pull and invest our lives, our energy, our time, our attention into the pull of the flesh, because all that's going to do is die and stay here with a world that's going to burn up. No, He wants us to leave the world behind, fellowship with Him, grow deeper in our knowledge of who He is, walk with Him intimately, and experience all the spiritual blessings that come with that. And because of that this morning, God is jealous. His jealousy is like a parent over a child. You want what's best for them, not what's worst. Not leftovers, not second best. And that's the kind of jealousy that God has for us.